If your idea of a convention is to correct the most fundamental defects in the system, like Sandy Levinson's emphasis in a lot of his writing on the defect that every state has the same number of senators, whether it's a huge state or a small state, it would follow that if you're going to change that, you're going to have to change Article 5 itself, which says that no state can be deprived of its equal suffrage in the Senate without its consent. And if you're going to change that part of Article 5, why not the part of Article 5 that specifies the mode of ratification? Another question, are the states to be equally represented, or does a one-person, one-vote rule apply? And here's a question that could well tie the country in knots for longer than the 18-month running reality show that Sandy Levinson has in mind. What about the District of Columbia? We can't even figure out if the citizens of the district should be able to vote for members of Congress. What's their role in such a convention? Could delegates be bound in advance by legislation or referendum to propose particular amendments or vote in a particular way? Now, if you choose them by lottery, the way Professor Levinson would, it's a little hard to imagine how they could be bound in advance. Could the convention propose amendments by simple majority, or do you need 2/3 or a supermajority? If each state gets one convention vote, must delegates representing a majority of the population nonetheless vote for an amendment in order for it to get proposed? Conversely, if the convention uses a one-person, one-vote formula, must the delegations of 26 states, perhaps including the District of Columbia, nonetheless vote in favor of a proposed amendment? And this is absolutely critical. What role, if any, would the Supreme Court play in resolving conflicts among Congress, state legislatures, governors, referenda, and the convention itself? Barbara assumes, oh yes, we can rely on the court to hold things in check. But can we? The court certainly has assumed that questions about the ratification process are non-justiciable political questions that it can't get involved in. And who would have standing to invoke the court? It's my best guess that the court would stay a million miles away from all of this. Now, there's disagreement not only over the answers to those questions, but over how to go about answering them. It's hardly news that there is deep division, not only on this panel, those who say they're originalists and those like Sandy Levinson who say they're not originalists,